So, as we were discussing about the service matrix, what does it mean? As we have understand that the service matrix is a classification matrix of service industries firms based on the characteristics of the individual firm service processes. It means here we analyze each and every service organization who is providing services, either it is individual or it is in group. Okay, every individual particular concern who is providing services can be classified under the service matrix. Next is the matrix was derived by Roger Manner and first appeared in 1986. First of all, the service matrix has been designed by a particular writer, or we can say an analyst, who was the Roger Schemener. He told that a service matrix has divided into four different parts of a quadrilaterals. Okay, the service process can be useful while investigating the strategic changes in the service operations. It means to change a particular service, it has designed for a particular reason, or it has divided in four different parts. Here different kind of strategic changes has been provided by different organizations to the users. In addition, there are unique managerial changes associated with each quadrant of the matrix. In this diagram, you can see that there are four quadrants. Okay. First quadrant is service shop, second is professional services, third is service factory, and fourth one is massive services. Now just read about it. In addition, there are unique managerial changes associated with each quadrant of the matrix. Just think about when you are going to take the services of an hotel. So, if you are four groups who are taking services, and every particular group has their own requirements. Okay, so as per the requirements, the managers has designed your services. Okay, so it means every particular service is associated with the managerial changes or managerial challenges, because if they are not providing good services, you will complain, and your complaint comes like an challenge for them. Okay, just take an example of hospitals. When you reach to the hospital and you told to the doctor that I have that kind of problem, kindly provide me the services. So doctor will tell you that I am giving you the medicines, and after that 2 days or 3 days afterward, I will check your position, I will check your health. If you will not well, then I will give you the admission in the particular hospital. You have to admit, and then I will check you, I will monitor you. So that kind of services has changed person to person, or vary person to person, individual to individual. Okay, by paying close attention to the challenges associated with their related classification, services firms may improve their performance. On each and every point which you have discussed with your managers, which you have discussed with your service provider, they will notice each and every point, and that particular issue or challenge associated with their related classifications. Okay, they are having different kinds of classification in their hospitals, in their hotels, or where they are providing you the services, either it is banks. So how will they manage their services? For that, a service matrix they will follow. What is this service matrix? This service matrix says that one side it is a service customization, and second it is a customer participation. It means how to design a service is called a service customization, or how a customer is participated in particular service which he want to take. Okay, which service he want to take, what kind service he want to take, and how much amount they are going to pay for that particular serviceman. Okay, so that comes under the service matrix. For that, Rogers Skinner has divided into four quadrants, and first quadrant says that Service shop, it means number one is service shop. Service shop means different large organizations who are providing services. Number one, hospitals, then auto repair shops, then restaurants. Okay, they are that kind of services who cannot change every day. Okay, we can say that it can vary person to person, but some of the layout of that services cannot change day by day. So that is called service shops. Hospital layout can't change day by day. They can change your services only, but they cannot change the overall bedding or overall rooms, OPDs. They cannot change every day. Okay, if the doctor is sitting in number one OPD, then he will sit for a long time to number one OPD. Okay, where there is an X-ray room, they cannot shift X-ray room again and again, or we can say every day. Okay, if they are providing we can say the health checkup like a blood test or sugar test, so that there should be a lab. Okay, a proper lab that cannot change every day. So these are some services who are already fixed. Okay, some of the point of these services are fixed, but some are the flexibles. So here customer participation is also very high, we can say, but they cannot change the services as per the customer requirement. Okay, that's why here we can say the customer participation is low. Customer will reach to change the services, but they will not provide the services as per the customer satisfaction. Okay, if they give the attention of each and every person, then they cannot run their hospital for a long time, or they cannot run their restaurants for a long time. So here we can say that service customization is very high and customer participation is very low. Next is professional services. What does it mean? Professional services means doctors, lawyers who are having their own clinics. Okay, lawyers who have their own offices to attend their customer, to attend their clients, accountants, or we can say CA, chartered accountants, or architects. You reach to that place for the service customization. They will provide you the service, they will make a proper follow up your services, and after that they will tell you that how you can arrange, or you can say how can you take the services as per our our guidance and as per your requirement. Okay, so here we can say the customer service customization is very high, but here customer participation is also very high. You can see the arrow is high in this particular quadrant, and service customization arrow is also high. Means here both of the parties will negotiate to each other, will collaborate to each other to discuss each and every point of the services. Okay, so I think 2 points are clear to you. Next one is we can say next one is massive services. Yeah, service shops. This one, service factory. Service shops and professional services are clear to you. Next is service factory. What did they say? They say that some of the services that is short term services, we can say, can customize their services as per the customer requirement or their own profits, so they can change the services timely. Okay, just like fast foods, hotels and motels, and airlines. Here service customization is very low and customer participation is also very low. They cannot change the service day to day, so obviously the service customization is very low. Here customer cannot go, we can say, interrupt to any service. If they say that only one seat is vacant in that kind of aeroplane, we can say only some of the beddings are free in the hotels, or some of the, we can say, the fast food which we are providing, we have only limited fast food, so you cannot go for the changes. Okay, you have to adopt these services as per the customer or service provider requirement. You can only tell your point, and service provider will also tell to to their points, but they cannot change as per the person to person, or as per we can say as per the customer requirement. Next one is mass services. Mass services means a very big organizations where the production is going to the large scale. Okay, massive production, mass production. Mass production means retail firms, okay, who are providing the retail services. Next is wholesale firms. Next is schools. Schools can say that school cannot change their services, cannot change their teachers, managers day to day, okay, or for a short term period. Here the person who are working, they will do the services for a long run. They cannot change their services in short periods, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Here are some bonds which have to follow by the we can say the service my men who are, we can say the person who are working in the school, they have to follow these kind of rules and regulations, and they cannot change the service as per the particular person. Okay, suppose you are a customer and you reach to the school for taking the services, so it doesn't mean that they will provide you the services only for your child. They have to design the services as per the overall students who are reaching to their school. Okay, suppose what kind of classrooms, what kind of color designs, what kind of education they are providing, or water services, washroom facilities, teachers, managers, accountants, principal, and players who are, we can say the games teacher, dance teacher, and different types of we can say a person are available in your particular school. So we cannot say that that kind of person is not providing the good quality teaching to our student or to our uh, kids. Okay, because there are number of students, they have to take the feedback of each and every person, then they will change the teacher. Okay, so this is called the service matrix, as every organization are facing, we can say are following these service matrices. Okay, next move towards the next topic. What are the basic difference of manufacturing and service operations? As it is clear by the name only that manufacturing means something which is going to convert from the raw material to the finished good. It means something which is tangible. Okay, and a service means anything which is not tangible but only you are using. That is service, as we have read already. So what is manufacturing operations? It means the manufacturing operation transform man, material, machinery into the finished good. All 6 M's are converted into raw material to the finished good, and tangible products through the manpower, management and methods. Manufacturing operations are basic process and can be clubbed into various categories which change the shape, size or physical chemical properties of the input. It means number of operations are including in a manufacturing operations for converting the raw material to the finished good. They will change the shape of the raw material, the size of the raw material, the overall appearance of the raw material, or we can say the physical or the chemical property also of the raw material. Just think about you are going to produce a cold drink, so you have to enter sugar, you have to enter water, you have to enter soda and different flavors also, and after the mixing, the color and bottle size, shapes, everything has been changed totally. So that is called the manufacturing operations. Here you can see that a single we can say that a cloth can change to the different kind of kurtis, different kinds of apparels, or you can see that rubbers can change to different kind of product, plastic can change to the different products. So that is called the manufacturing operations. Okay, then what is this? The next one is what is service operations? It means in manufacturing the work is going only for the operations are going only for to produce something. Okay, but here in service operations, the person who are giving you the services can design the services as per the customer requirement. Here we are not doing the work for customer requirement, only we are producing the product for customer requirement, but here we have to we can say to design the service as per the customer requirement. The term service operation is generally used to produce an intangible item. Intangible means the things that we cannot touch, we cannot feel, okay, only we can take, like odor, okay, smell of some particular thing, or comfort, okay, luxury, that also are we can say services. Okay, next is production of new books or enterprise resource planning, providing education. Education is a very good we can say example of service operations, as we are giving you the services. Okay, you are taking the lecture, or you can say you are listening the lecture and you gain the knowledge. We are only sharing our knowledge to you, and you are taking the knowledge from us. Okay, so that is called services. Next is entertainment. Entertainment, what entertainment gives you? Just think, you are watching a movie in the theaters, you are paying some amount for tickets. Okay, you are in the theaters, you are taking the comfort chairs. Okay, some kind of chairs you allotted to you, and a pleasant atmosphere also provide to you. Okay, then you will feel a good kind of atmosphere over there, and you can easily spend 3 hours or less than 3 hours in the theaters. Okay, it means they are providing you the services, a very good atmosphere, a good sound of the movies, or good chairs, or tea and coffee facility at your particular place where you are sitting. So that is called a service. Okay, so service operations has designed only as per the service we can say who are service taking, or a service provider and service user who are using these services. Next is hospitality. Next is governance, transportation, or health services are certain examples of the service operations. Next one is in developing organizations, countries like India and China, these services operations have increasingly play a very important and critical role in growing GDP. Yes, health sectors is also giving a very big role to raise the GDP. Okay, or entertainment. Entertainment gives a very big, we can say, a very huge participation in to raise the GDP of India or another countries. Okay, hospitality also, governance also, transportation also, or health services also. They are a very big contributors of GDP, we can say, to growing the GDP. Next is the service operations are significant contributors in any economy, particularly after liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Here you can see that different kinds of services operations are we can say count as a very big contributor. By which things? The things comes in India like globalization, privatization. Some private firms also a good contributor. Some service organization, we can say just like Make My Trip. You know the name of Make My Trip, who are providing the traveling we can say benefits to you, traveling services, or tourism, tour and tourism kind of services. So that comes under the service operations. Next, what is the difference between goods and services? Okay, how we can say that some of the manufacturing organization comes under the goods and service operations comes under the services. So here are some difference which we have to cover. Number one is, what is goods? The tangibility goods are tangible. We can touch it, or suppose just think about the pen. Pen is a product and we can touch this pen and we can use it. Okay, but the writing which you are, we can say you are writing on the copy or you are writing on a diary. So this kind of writing has given by some person. So that this writing is a service, because you only use the pen for writing something. So this is service. Okay, so service are generally intangible. You cannot touch the services. Next is storage consumption. Goods can be stored, but some may not due to the perishability. You can use the goods. Okay, you can touch the goods, but some of the goods are perishable, or we can say some of the services are perishable. Perishable means that has finished at a several time in limited time. Suppose where we can say that we are using a candle and we are just lighting up that candle and put at the particular place. After some time, the candle will vanish. Okay, it will finished. So that is, it was good, but it has been perishable. It has been finished for a limited time. You have purchased a bottle of milk, and after using that milk, the milk has been finished. So that is limited kind of good. Okay, we can say perishable good. Same, services are usually consumed immediately. Suppose you are having a salon and you are providing the services of, you can say you are providing the facial to the customers or waxing to the customers. So they will come and take the services, and this services will finish after using the, we can say after some time. So that is called the perishability. Next point is nature. The product may be different variety with respect to quality or size, but generally does not depend on customers. Here the nature of the product is, we can say in a different varieties, in a different quality. But the person who are going to purchase that particular good or services, they will choose as per their requirement. Okay, they will not say that please change the taste of this biscuit for me only, please don't change the color of this shampoo for me. It cannot possible. You are just going to purchase and you have to purchase as per your requirement. There are number of bottles are there in the stores. Okay, or in the display, you have to purchase as per your requirement, but you cannot change the odor, the color, the overall shape of the bottle at that time. Okay, next is just read to the services. Each service to different customers may be unique as per the requirement of the customer, but here in service we can say that the quality of the services can change or vary person to person. How? Just take an example uh, of a hotel. Suppose you want to stay in a five-star hotel. So the services provided by the five-star hotels will be differentiated by the other hotels. Okay, their food quality, their stay rooms quality, their bed sheets, their overall things which is needed for you, they are changed because it is a five-star hotel. You are paying a lot of money for five-star hotel services. Okay, they will we can say the intercom services, we can say they will provide the food at time, they will provide the weddings on time, they will everything they will provide you on time. Okay, but in general hotels, in 3-star hotels or in 2-star hotels, they will not provide as per your, we can say, your satisfaction, because you are not paying that much amount as comparison to the 5-star hotel. So this is called the nature. Next is quality parameters. Yes, quality parameters of goods are measurable. Here in goods, you can easily measure the quality. Yeah, you can easily check the quality of a pen. Okay, you can easily check the quality of a mobile phone. What kind of features, what kind of aesthetics of this mobile phone. Okay, are the cameras quality are good or not, or the features of that mobile phones are good or not, but how is it accessible for all apps or not. So this is called the quality parameters. But in services, you cannot judge the quality after using. You can say that the service was very efficient, but without using, you cannot say that the service is very efficient for you or it is beneficial for you. Okay, so here we can say that quality parameters in production of the service are subjective and generally depends on the perception of the customer. Okay, here we can only perceive but we cannot touch the services. Next point is importance of location. Yes, obviously, location is in production of goods may be important due to freight factors. Here you know that location is a very important thing. If your location is, we can say, approachable, or at that particular place you are producing the goods where the raw material availability is very high, the equipment facility is high, or we can say the labor, we can say the skilled labor are available at that point, it means the location is a very important concern. Location in case of service is very important because of physical presence of the customer at site of the services. In goods also, location is important, but in services, location is, we can say, a very big concern. Okay, in we can say that goods can be available after, we can say, after production it is available in the market, but service, you have to reach the particular place for availing that kind of services. Okay, suppose doctor will not reach to your home. In some cases, if you are in emergency, you can call the doctor, but if you want the MRI services, if you want the health checkups like investigation or test, or we can say some sort of what is this, this is kind of uh, different kinds of, like your bone is injured, or you want an operation, so you have to reach the health particular, we can say, hospitals for availing these services. Okay, doctor and machines will not reach to your home to provide the services, or hotels will not reach to your place. You have to reach that place, and you can, we can say, you can avail these kind of services. Next one is innovation, involvement of the technology, knowledge and skills. Yes, of course, involvement of knowledge technology is also a very big concern. Production of goods is necessarily technological based. Okay, if you're producing like old kind of phone, as in a 90s or in a 2005 to 6, there are some small phones available in the market that called keypad phones only. Okay, on the sim is only a 2G sim. So as the generation has advanced, so you have to change your products as per the technology. After the 2G, the 3G is launched, then 4G is launched, then 5G is launched. So you have to make your products as per the requirement, as per the customer, or time, we can say the technology era is advancing, so you have to produce as per the requirement. As just think about the hair shampoo products, because nowadays there are different kinds of diseases are listening in the market. So you have to produce the shampoos, the conditioners, the skin products as per the customer diseases or customer requirements. So we know that we have to produce, or the goods we have to manufacture the good as per the customer demand. Next is service operations are more or less knowledge, are skill based, but many times technology is also required to produce services. Here we know that we are providing the services as per their our skills. Okay, suppose a serviceman reach to your home for the servicing of your AC, air condition. If they don't know the latest technology, they cannot do your do you to good services. So the person who is coming to your home for providing the services has to be skilled as per the technological advancement. Next one is involvement of customers. Yes, in goods, production of goods does not require customer interaction at the facility. Here, where you are producing the good, you have only a thought to your mind that what type of product we are making. Not only for a single customer you are thinking, you are thinking a big population. Okay, or you have to your involvement of the customer in making your product is not required, because it is just going for the production process. Okay, after the selling of the product you can take the feedbacks to the customers, that the taste is good or not, the overall bottle shape is good or not, the color, your design, the mobile phone, we can say apps or cameras or features are good or not. So but when you are making the mobile phone, you are not taking the feedbacks. After the finishing good you are taking the feedbacks. So here we can say that the involvement of customer at that time when you are producing is not mandatory. Okay, but in case of services, high degree of customer contact facilitates customized service quality. But here you need high degree of customer involvement, because you are designing as per the quality, as per the customer need. You are designing the services as per the customer need. So it is necessary to take the customer involvement. You have to involve the customer for designing their services. Okay, so this is called the involvement of the customers. Next is transferability. Most of the goods are transferable. Okay, here we can say the goods are you can movable, they can move from one place to another place, but services may not be transferable but usually consumed immediately. Okay, a serviceman can come to your home and they will provide the service and it will consume at that time, but it is not transferable. Service cannot be transferable. If you want to take service you have to reach that place, or the serviceman reach to your place. After that you can consume the services. Okay, suppose you have everyone is using Zomato for food orders. Okay, the food delivery by the person, they deliver the food to you and you will eat it and it will consumed. Okay, so that is called transferability. Now the next topic is, what is service quality? So the next topic is, what is service quality and how does it works? Basically, service quality is, it is refers to measurement of how well the service delivered matches to customer expectations. It is an assessment of how well a delivered service conforms to clients' expectations. Businesses aims to deliver consistent service quality to ensure customer satisfaction, loyalty and repeat business. It means service quality basically means that how excellently you are providing the services, your services are it is matching with the delivered service is matching to the customer expectations or not. So basically, for judgment of the quality, there are some kind of models has established, or we can take the feedback to the customer directly that the quality of the service is well as per your expectations, as per your comfort or not. Okay, so business aims to deliver consistent services. You have to provide the services. If you are a service organization, you have to provide the services as per the customer's expectations. The customer loyalty, customer is loyal or not. If you are loyal with the customer, then customer will reach to you definitely. Okay, and the repetition of the businesses. Okay, next is measuring quality is a service setup is inherently complex, since the characteristics of services are different from those of the manufacturing setups. It means to measuring the quality of the service, it is a very complex things. Okay, you have to only classify the services or different manufacturing setups which you through which you are providing the services. Okay, you can check the serviceman, you can check the quality of the service only by the help of the customer's feedback. Service are often performance involving customers are opposed to dealing with objects as in case of manufacturing. Most services cannot be counted, stocked and verified. Some services you cannot easily counted. Okay, you cannot stock, you cannot verified. But in manufacturing organization you can count the you can check the particular product or its quality. But in service metrics or in service organizations you cannot check the services which is provided to you. Okay. Furthermore, with the high degree of labor content and the personal involvement to both the service provided and the receiver, you only can check through the service provider and through the service receiver. Now, there is a model which has made for the checking of service quality. Okay, that is called Sarvakwal model. Sarvakwal means it is a multi-dimensional research instrument designed to capture consumers' expectation and perception of a service along with 5 dimensions that are believed to represent service quality. Basically, Sarvakwal model has designed to check the quality as per the customer's expectations and perceptions, and there are 5 dimensions as given by this particular model, and this model of the service quality popularly known as GAPS model. Here a person who made this particular model is but has named this model is GAPS model, was developed by a group of American authors, A. Parasuman, Valerie A. Zathmal and Len Berry. Is a systematic research program model or carried out between 1983 to 1988. This model identifies the principal dimensions or components of service quality, proposed a scale of measuring service quality or Sarvakwal, and suggests possible causes of service quality problems. As per this model, they can verify easily that what kind of problem is arising in particular service. Okay, there are some gaps has given in this model, and that gaps has been designed by these authors. Okay, so after the research they can find out this kind of model. So what this model says, this model says that there are 5 gaps: gap 1, gap 2, gap 3, gap 4 and gap 5. And this flow chart shows that there are the model, we can say the gaps through which we can find out where we are lacking the services, or at what point our service we are not providing the quality services. Okay, so here we see that you can see the dotted line in between the diagram. Above the dotted line there are consumers, and below the dotted line there are firm. Okay, now firm has designed that number one point is management perceptions of customer expectation. Okay, after this management perception, he reached towards the translation of perception into service quality specification. Okay, how we can change this perception to the service quality, and how will we specify the services into the service quality as per the customer perception. Okay, after this point, after designing this point, we reach to the actual service delivery. Okay, actual delivery, to reach to the actual delivery, we found two gaps. Number one gap we found in between management perception of consumer expectation, between the expected service. Okay, but here we gap 1 we read afterward. First we read what is gap 2. Gap 2 means the gap between management perception and translation of the perception. In between we found that there is a gap. Okay, next gap we found in translation of perception to the actual service delivery. That it means there is some kind of we can say we have missing something, that's why we didn't reach to the actual service quality. Okay, then what we see, we reach towards the external communication to the consumer and actual service quality. Now we see there is a dotted line and double arrow, and this is we found gap 4. Okay, after the firm's expectations we reach towards the perceived services. Okay, what are the perceived services, or what is expected service? Okay, now we read that there would be some kind of gap between perceived service and expected service. So this is called gap number 5. And in overall diagram, which what we see, that there is a gap 1 between firm and consumer, and that is gap 1. Now just read about it by the point to point. Number 1 is service firm executive may not always understand what the customer want, what features a service must have, what level of performance should be delivered. So that is called gap 1. As we have discussed in this diagram, there is a big gap between firm and consumer. Okay, and that is called gap 1. Basically what the consumer want, there is a gap. Either we have make the service to customer expectation or not. Customer want this kind of quality or not. We have to concentrate on each and every point. Next is what features a service must have. Okay, either the features are efficient or not. Either we are providing the proper quality or not. That is features. Next is what level of performance should be delivered. Either our performance is standard performance or not. So this is called gap 1. Next to gap 2. What is gap 2 in this diagram? Management perception of the consumer expectation and translation of perception into service quality specification. Now just check. The mean of meet the expectation are absent. Obviously the meet of expectation is absent. That's why we found the gap 2. And what is gap 2?